All right, this is probably my ideal view here. This is the paper that I'm using today, and just in case some of you haven't tried opening the new paper, let me just fix this a little better. And perfection. Yeah, this is a palette knife, and I'm just going around this and tearing this. This is a cold press paper by, excuse me, Animal. And now I'm going to start with my drawing process. You can do it disorientation or disorientation. It's totally up to you. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards like the horizontal, just because the way it is in the photo that I sent you all. So that's basically why. And so I'm starting with a very basic drawing using my mechanical pencil. With this painting, sorry, again, like the other paintings that I've been recently doing a lot of, I want it to be kind of coming out of the paper, not going edge to edge type of thing. And the branch that I'm looking at is just inspiring me. I want it to have a little bit more character, but I still want it to have a little snow on it and all of that beautiful things that are happening. So I'm just like marking the areas that I want to place my snow. And I start with the actually cute little feet that I see here and the little space that I see in between. And this is going to be a little bit of a bigger version. And if you look at the Cardinal, you notice it kind of has an egg shape, like in the body area type. So I'm kind of going with an egg shape. But then you have this whole crown thing coming out. So this is just like an overall very basic thing for you doing. And then just like a little triangle shape and fixing the shape of the beak later. We can work on that a little bit more. And the back of the head. And now I'm going to connect everything. And kind of maybe have to replace this. You can make it fluffier, chubbier, whatever word you want to use, or the same size kind of inspiration. And again, I don't want it to be exact same as photo. I'm just using the photo as an inspiration. So when I'm looking at the photo, I notice the beak should be kind of this part and a little bit of a whole face cover, it almost looks like. This is this is Faber-Castell. This is also Faber-Castell. I really like this pencil erasers for drawing. just erasing a little bit and giving it a little bit more form and shape. And this is where that cute tiny thing that I told you about comes handy. Left. So this is just my basic shape, and then I just want to make sure that I go back and forth a couple times and if you all want to use your kneaded eraser, which I'm trying to find mine at this moment, I have no idea where. Could be my when you have a toddler, sometimes you have to hide items and then you forget where you put them. So I'm just gonna go and this is as faded as I want it to be. So we might have mentioned this before, it can be a little tricky to make our reds, but before we do our reds we need to put some of the basic colors down for this painting and make our paints. So first I want to have a testing paper available around, and we're going to test the colors that we are making on it. And I'm using the Daniel Smith set and Holbein set, Schmidt, set. I am now spraying my watercolors with water and letting it get like a little bit wet. And then I'm going to start making my background color. For the background color, I would like to use Glacier Green by Schmidt, and I'm also going to use a little bit of the Blue Genuine Appetite by Daniel Smith. Those are both great colors. So I'm going to start by making my first colors consistency. You want it to be kind of a milk consistency for the Glacier Green. I like this painting to be a little bit more waterier than so this is the type of color that you get. You do want to have ready. So I want to kind of go around my cute bird, starting with my darkest type of consistency. And I'm leaving the snows and everything white, kind of. If you by accident cover it, you can always come back and fix that. And as you see, this paint separates, and it's a granulated paint, and every now and then I come back with clean water. Like right now, I'm just adding clean water so that these pigments get to have a chance to separate and create all those beautiful colors. The brush I'm using right now is my Betty Hayways brush, which is very nice and has a very nice and detailed point. And I'm negative painting behind my bird. If you feel like you're going to cover the head and everything in your glacier green, you can always use the masking fluid and mask it a little bit. So now, while it's still wet, I want to go ahead and grab like a little napkin and like a tissue or napkin or whatever, and I'm just going to go and lift some of the areas with my finger, just like this. Okay, roll it around my, wrap it, sorry, around my finger, and I just lift some of the pigments. I do a little bit of the same thing underneath the branch, the tree trunk here. Trying to make the unevenness Now I go with the blue Genuine Appetite. And I want to do kind of like a repeat, especially in the areas that are still wet or even damp. And I'm just dropping it and kind of letting it do its thing. If there's any other color that you all like to use, you can use. It might feel like this is gonna hide, but it's going to show the glacier green still, because this is kind of a glazing, and it's just how we can create a nice wintry background by this type of layers that we are creating here. Even all those little snowball lifting things that we did will show through the bottom. I'm adding two, and then I'm just moving things a little bit and blending things. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a salt to my background while it's still damp. We'll give you all these cool, fun textures, so it'll granulate kind of even more. In some areas you can pour a little bit more dense. Create all different forms. So this is how this stage looks like, and I'm going to let this dry. It's best to let it air dry, just for the best view. And how it looks like at this stage. While it's still a little damp, I'm gonna go in the color Jaun Brilliant, or any kind of like pastel-y type color you have, and I want to like splatter just a little bit, especially in the areas that there is still a little bit of a dampness. And I will do the same thing with a little bit of a white paint. It's best to use your bleed-proof white, but you can also use your watercolor white. I'm just coming in with my brush and adding little white spots with different sizes and pressure points, and some of them I go over the previous paint. I'm gonna let it dry, and then we'll do the rest, the second stage.